morning, students. Today we are going to have lesson 7. You are all 9th standard students, and the previous branches of biology we have already finished. Okay, and today we are going to start the next lesson, cell. So I want everyone to take down this, what I have written, the key points. And in this E, R, M, P, R, G, L, as it is you take down. I told you all to bring a notebook and pen now. So take down this. I am going to explain each and everything. Okay. Now after finishing this lesson, I will give some more time to take down these points. Okay. Now, definition. What is cell? If you see this levels of organization, protoplasm is a physical basis of life, and this protoplasm if it has outer boundary, it is called as cell. Cells together form tissues. Tissues together form organs. Organs together form systems. Systems together form body. So this is how our body is formed. Body consists of number of systems. Each system is made up of number of organs. Each organ consists of tissue, particular type of tissue. Each tissue consists of number of cells. So cell is a structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Cell is a structural, functional unit of all living organisms. So definition. Now, what will be the size of the cell? And what will be the shape of the cell? And from lower classes you have been studying about plant cell and animal cell. From 6th standard you are studying plant cell and animal cell, correct? And structure of plant cell, animal cell, basic, you all know. We are going to pay more attention, the extra points what we are going to learn, okay? So these things we will go a little faster. So shape of the size of the cell. The smallest cell, it is measured in millimicron. If you take bacteria, 0.3 microns only, millimicrons only. Okay, so that is the smallest cell. And if you take the largest cell, ostrich egg is the largest cell. Longest cell, nerve cell in our body. The size of the length of the nerve cell starts with the tip of the finger and it extends up to the spinal cord. So that much long it is. So that is the longest cell. So smallest cell, bacteria as an example, millimicrons, measured in millimicron, and largest cell, ostrich egg, longest cell is example nerve cell. Okay. So we have seen the definition and size. Now shape of the cell. And in lower classes, if it is plant cell, you would have done like this. If it is animal cell, like this. It is an abstract structure. It is not the definite structure. Abstract structure. Abstract shape. If it is, for example, the cell means it will be like this. Okay. So if you take the plant tissues also, different tissues, different shape and size. Okay. So the shape varies from tissue to tissue. If you take the blood tissue, in one tissue itself, different sizes are there. Blood tissue, if you take RBC, disc shape, WBC, amoeboid shape. And if you take the xylem and phloem of the plants, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma, tracheids, all are different in shapes. So shape differ from tissue to tissue according to its function. Okay. So we have finished the shape. Next comes the general structure. All of you have learned in lower classes the general structure. The general structure if you take, it will be having outer covering, the boundary. The boundary of plant cell is cell wall. It is made up of cellulose. The boundary of the animal cell is cell membrane. The animal cell does not have the cell wall. Okay? Cell membrane is present in both plant cell and animal cell. But in addition to this cell membrane, plasma membrane, plant cell has cell wall. So cell wall is the outer boundary for the cell, plant cell. And cell membrane is the outer boundary for the animal cell. Okay? Then next comes, and this plant cell is made up of cellulose. And next, cell membrane, it is made up of protein and lipids. Okay? And if you take the plant cell the cell wall of one cell is connected with the cell wall of another cell. With a short tube, plasma desmata. The short tube, plasma desmata. This is in plant cell. Okay? And of course, animal cell, the outer boundary is plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is semi-permeable. So it is connected with each and every adjacent cell. Okay? Then next comes the cytoplasm. I already said protoplasm is the physical basis of life. And this protoplasm, if it is covered by the cell membrane or cell wall, it is called cytoplasm. If it is covered by the nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm. Okay? And in vacuole, it is covered by a chromoplast membrane. Okay? So, protoplasm is the base. Cytoplasm contains the protoplasmic content. And it is the base for all the cell organelles and cell inclusions. Cell organelles. Take the cell organelles. Next, the last we will come to nucleus, cell organelle, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, plastid, ribosome, Golgi bodies, lysosome, centrosome, vacuole. All these are there in the plant cell and animal cell. Some are there in plant cell, some are there in animal cell, some are there in both plant cell and animal cell. Okay? Now quickly we are going to go through these cell organelles because already from 6th standard, 6th, 7th, 8th. And this is 9th, no? So all these classes you have studied the structure of the cell. Cell organelles was endoplasmic reticulum. It is a framework in the cell. And it helps, it will break and move in the cytoplasm itself. The endoplasmic reticulum is of two types, smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic, why it is, the surface is smooth. Rough endoplasmic reticulum, the surface is rough. Because of the presence of ribosomes. Because of the presence of ribosomes. So these are the two types of endoplasmic reticulum. Then next comes mitochondria. Mitochondria is a rod-shaped structure. It has two membranes. The inner membrane encloses the matrix. This is the matrix. The inner membrane gives rise to finger-like projection cortical strain and F1 particles. The F1 particles are the particles which stores the ATP, the energy molecules. And the main function of the mitochondria is cellular respiration. It carries cellular respiration and stores this ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy currency of the cell. This ATP is stored in mitochondria. That's why it is called as powerhouse of the cell. All these already you know. Okay. The next comes plastids. If you take the plastids, plastids are present, endoplasmic reticulum are present both in animal cell and plant cell. And mitochondria present both in plant cell and animal cell. And plastids, if you take, plastids are of three, the plastids are present only in plant cell. They are of three types, chloroplast, chromoplast, leucoplast. If you take chloroplast, they are green in color. If you take leucoplast, they are colorless. Chromoplast, orange or red in color. So if you take an apple, the stem of the apple, if you take a cell from the stem of the stalk of the apple and check, those cells will contain chloroplast because they are green. And if you take the skin of the apple, a cell from the skin of the apple and analyze it, observe it under the microscope, it contains on that plastids chromosome, chromoplast. Okay, so chromoplasts are present in skin. That gives the color for the skin of the apple. And if you cut apple, inside that one is can you hear? Okay. So that one is if you take the edible part of the apple, cut and eat, that portion is white. Those cells will be having leucoplast. And this leucoplast is having a peculiar characteristic feature. If it is exposed to sunlight, it will change itself, it acts as chloroplast. If it comes back to the dark, it will change itself as leucoplast. That is the characteristic features of leucoplast. Okay. So if you take this, chloroplast plays a very important role in plants because it is responsible for photosynthesis. It is one of the factors for photosynthesis. So this chloroplast structure, it is spindle shaped, it has double membrane, and inner membrane encloses stroma. It has granular structure called grana, and this grana is made up of number of units called thylakoids. Number of units called thylakoids. These thylakoid, the membrane of the thylakoid contains chlorophyll which trap the solar energy. So thylakoids are responsible for trapping the solar energy. Okay. So we have seen endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, plastics, ribosomes. Ribosomes already we came across ribosomes here in endoplasmic reticulum. Ribosomes are attached with endoplasmic reticulum. Ribosomes are seen in the cytoplasm also. They are responsible for protein synthesis. And the size varies in ribosomes from prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. What are prokaryotic cell? What are eukaryotic cell? We are going to see. Okay. Later. The next comes Golgi bodies. Golgi bodies are elongated saccharide structures. They are secretory in function. They are secretory in function. Okay. Then comes, so all are present in both plant cell and animal cell. We take the lysosome. Lysosomes are present in animal cell and they are called as suicidal bags. They are called as suicidal bags because they collect all the excretory product and burst. They will burst and send it out. So they are called as suicidal bags. So lysosomes are present only in animals. Then comes the centrosomes. Centrosomes are present only in animal cell and they are responsible for the cell division. They initiate cell division and forms the centrioles and spindle fibers. In cell division, we are going to study 9th and 10th standard about cell division. Okay. Then next comes the vacuole. Vacuole is present smaller in size in animal cell. It is absent if it is present very small in size, but in plant cell it is very large. And this vacuole is covered by a membrane called chromoplast. It encloses the cell sac. It encloses the cell sac. Okay. So this vacuole is responsible for the water osmoregulation inside the cell, water content. Okay. So we have seen all these cell organelles. Now what about cell inclusions? The difference between cell organelle and cell inclusions. Cell organelles are living. They can carry out functions. Whereas cell inclusions, they cannot do any function. They will be stored in the cytoplasm. Okay. Oil droplet is a cell inclusion only. Okay. A starch grain is a cell inclusion only. Okay, so cell inclusions also seen in the cytoplasm, dictyosomes, cell inclusions. Then next comes the plant cell and animal cell. Already while we are discussing this, we have seen the difference between the plant cell and animal cell. Plant cell outer boundary, cell wall is present, animal cell wall is absent. Cell membrane, both plant cell and animal cell is present. Then plant cell contains plastids, animal cells, they do not contain plastids. and lysosomes present in animal cells, then centrosomes present in animal cells. So while we are discussing this cell organelle itself, we are seeing the difference between the plant cell and animal cell. The next comes prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Before prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell, we are going to discuss about the nucleus, because on the basis of the nuclear membrane only, we can classify the organism as eukaryotes and prokaryotes. So what is nucleus? You can see the structure of the nucleus. So now this one is a nucleus is the controlling center of the cell. It has nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, nucleolus and chromatin reticulum. This chromatin reticulum will divide into, it is broken into definite number of bits, definite number of pieces during cell division, and it will become highly coiled. And this coiling, sometimes it is thicker, some places it is thin. So it is covered by a pellicle and forms a chromosome. So during cell division only, this chromatin reticulum become chromosome. And another thing is, this chromosomes, number of chromosomes, definite number of bits, I said no. The number depends upon each organism, each species have definite number of chromosomes. Suppose if you take Homo sapiens, human beings, in our cell, there are 46 chromosomes. So it will break into 46 bits and coil and covered by a pellicle from the chromosomes. Okay. So these chromosomes contains genes which are responsible for the transfer of characters from the parents to the offspring. Okay. So the chromosomes are formed from where? Here, in the chromatin reticulum. And nucleolus, they condense the concentrated form of this nucleoplasm only, nucleolus. Sometimes some cells will have more than one nucleolus. Okay. So it is responsible for protein synthesis. All this, everything is given in your book, children, where you have to read line by line and you must find the answer by yourself from the book. The questions which are given in the book, back of the lesson as well as inside the lesson, progress check, all these questions are sample questions. But in your board exam, you will be getting questions from any nook and corner of the cell. So far we have seen the cell structure, organelles, everything. Now how important the cellular activities are, how the cell is helping us, how the cell is helping the organism to survive. What way and all cell is necessary for the organism to do. We have seen cell is a structural, functional unit of living organism. Because the cell, see if you take the body can be divided into system can be divided into organs can be divided into tissues consist of cell. So cell is a structural function unit, how it is helping us. So first, we are going to see the cellular activities. Growth. Cell is important for growth. Unless the cell divides, it will not, the tissues will not be formed. Only when the tissue is formed, the organs, the size of the organs can attain its size. And the systems, slowly the body grows. So the growth depends upon the cell division. Okay. So cell is important for growth. The next comes repair. If you get any cut, the cut, soon it will heal. Whether we treat it or not, it will get healed. How it is healing? New cells are formed. By cell division, new cells are formed and closing the cut open motion. So it is healing, it gets healed. So for the repair of all of tissues, we need the cell. Then movement. If you take the amoeba is unicellular, it moves with the help of the pseudopodia. So all the activities within the cell, amoeba. Now if you take our body, for the movement, bone cells are help us to move, and the bones are connected with the ligaments and tendons. Okay, with the ligaments and tendons only we can fold and stretch our hand. So the cell is helpful in movement. Next comes nutrition. Nutrition in cell plays an important role in nutrition of plants as well as in animals and human beings. See, in plants, the plant cell contains chloroplast. So chloroplast is important for the plants to prepare starch. And in our body, we are eating, it is getting digested. Digested food are being absorbed, and this absorbed digested food are taken by the blood to the different parts. So blood tissue is carrying the food, nutrients to the different parts. So the cell helps in nutrition. Then respiration. If you take plants respire to stomata. We take the structure of the stomata. Stomata contain two God cells. So these God cells, by closing and opening, allow the entry and exit of the air in and out of the plant, in and out of the leaves. Okay, so it is helping in respiration of the plant. What about human beings and animals? The RBC, the main function of RBC is to carry oxygen. So they are called as respiratory cell. They are carrying oxygen, and blood tissue is carrying carbon dioxide, send it out through the lungs in the respiratory system. Okay, so they are helpful for respiration. Next comes protection. Protection, the skin. The skin is made up of dermis and epidermis. These epidermal cells protect the internal part. Just imagine our body without the skin. Horrible it looks, isn't it so? It protects the internal parts. And if you take the leaves, stem, root, leaves of the plants, if you take the anatomy, the outermost layer is epidermis. The epidermal cells. The epidermal cells, main function of the epidermal cell is protect the internal parts. Okay? So it helpful for protection. With absorption, if you take the roots, hair. Root hair, intestinal, you will be, yesterday I taught the intestinal lesson, absorption. The root hair absorb the water. Okay, so the root hair is nothing but extension of the epidermal cell. So root hair cells are helpful in absorption. Then the cells which are present in the intestine, our small intestine, as finger-like projections called villi. These villi cells absorb the nutrients. So the cells which are present in the villus absorb the nutrients. They are helpful. The cells are helpful for absorption. And then photosynthesis, of course I already explained. The cells which contain chloroplast are helpful in preparing the food. Then reproduction. The cells are very important. The cells play a very important role in reproduction, because if we take the sexual reproduction in plants as well as in animals, the gametes are produced. Sperm is the male gamete, ovum is the female gamete. So both the gametes should be produced. Both are unicellular. Sperm is unicellular and ovum also unicellular. They fuse and form a zygote. The zygote developed into a young one, developed into a young organism. So only when the sperm and ovum are produced, the young one will get developed, the fertilization, after fertilization. Okay, so they are helpful in, they play a very important role in reproduction. Okay, so we have seen all the cellular activities, how much the cells are important, what are the main activities, in which activities are they involved. Without cell, we cannot carry out all these activities. All this physiological process cannot take place without the involvement of the cell. So we can say only cell is a structural functional unit of the living organism. So with this, we are finishing the unit cell structure function unit. Okay. So we will meet in the next class. Bye.